Okay. So, when I uploaded the Dream video, a friend of mine commented. He's probably watching this now, so you know who you are, Bradley. Anyways, so, yeah. If you're not him, he requested that I did a little something that, a little video about the, things we did, back at, our old school. I don't know if he named it in the comment sections. I really hope he did, and I'll have to double check that. Actually, I could actually do that right now. I actually have YouTube pulled up right here on my computer. See, I've got YouTube up right now. Kind of looking at my channel because I wanted to do something on my channel, and then I remembered. Oh yeah, he requested I did this, and I said I'd do it. It's been a while. I mean, it's been a whole week since that video. It only has 10 views as of this recording. But I wanted to do this one because I was like, oh yeah, I remember those. Those were so much fun. So anyways, before he moved, he's not around. He doesn't go to the same school as me anymore, but, so I'm actually in 8th grade as of right now. And last year, which obviously was 7th grade, was when all of the schools moved to a bigger school that has the middle school and the high school all in one building. So, you know, before that we had different elementaries all around, but pretty much for 7th grade, everyone just kind of like came together. But when we were back in our old elementary, 6th grade was the last year we'd ever have to go outside and play in recess after lunch. Now we don't do that, right? We have lunch and then we immediately go back to class. We never have, time for, time for recess. If you're wondering why I've been like kind of moving my hands around and kind of doing stuff like that, it's because I just ate and it was a little bit of greasy kind of food, so my hands are a little, yeah. And I've got I feel like I got some on my face, but I'm just gonna kind of, yeah, there we go. But me and Bradley, we always, would play a game, because I still kind of am childish now. I mean, I like childish things. Like, I could almost, pull out one of my most recent drawings of a Glaceon, and where it's playfully jumping in the air. At least I tried to make it appear like that. I don't think I did too bad of a job, and it looks really happy. You know what? Hold on. Let me actually go grab that image. I'd actually like to show you guys. Okay. I've got it now. I called it Jumpy Jump just because I'm very bad at names, but I'm also very bad at trying to make the motion lines and whatnot. The marks that kind of show something's moving and whatnot. So yeah, here it is. Is it just super cute? So yeah, I tried to make it so that it looks like it was going up and its tail was wagging, but that's basically that. So I've always liked to twirl my hair and it bunches up. Anyways, I've been straying off topic a little bit. I don't even remember how I got on the subject of showing that image. But, oh yeah, it's because I was mentioning that I'm kind of childish and I like playful things. But so the game we would play is always kind of like, we always treated it like a TV show. We never really came up with titles, really. I think we always tried to name it. Like, we would always have a little trailer or something at the end as we were walking back into school at the end of recess. We'd be like, tune in next time and see what happens to us next. But the story was, we would always it was always really cool. It was always so fun because we would take our imagination and we would just kind of see where we could go from there. He would always be some kind of character, it's been forever, so I don't remember really any of the characters. I think he has, tried to be Link from Zelda and whatnot, whatnot. And the antagonist would always be, the antagonist from whatever series or something he'd be referencing. I was always myself, and the antagonist was, a character I've actually created long ago, and I've never really told many people about his existence, but he was a character I created to be the evil version of me, and again, I'm just gonna, yeah, my computer was starting to go to sleep. I'm just gonna kind of use it because it gives me lighting on my face. But since I lack the creativity when it comes to names, he was just simply known as Evil Mikey, because for the longest time I was referred to as Mikey. I now go by my real name, but yeah, Mikey was just a shorter version of my middle name, Michael, but that's basically it. So he was always the antagonist and whatnot, along with whoever was the antagonist of the series Bradley was referencing. And we would often kind of like treat it like a video game as well, like a turn-based RPG. Like we would take turns fighting and letting the enemy attack. I always also tried to make references to games. Like a thing I would do was I would make it so that like I always wore like a suit, something that had like a dial on it, and I could turn it and I would actually transform into other things. Like I think I had it like I would become like some kind of other video game character or whatnot. And yeah, and I would always like, and I even like made a reference to Super Mario Sunshine and how I always carried around a thing that was like FLUDD, you know, the little device that Mario carries around in Super Mario Sunshine that sprays water. Like I always had like a water pump on my back, you know, to kind of spray people with. And pretty much throughout all of that, my elements were always like lightning and water. It's actually kind of changed now. I'm more of an ice person. My personal preference of Glaceon as my Eevee evolution favorite. It's kind of obvious then. But I've always been a fan of ice long before I even actually became obsessed with Glaceon. Like, yeah. So I've liked ice before that, but so yeah, we would like always like have super awesome abilities. Like I would always like combine I would always like kind of like have the hand aura stuff for like water and electricity, and I'd be like and then so yeah, we always played those games. We'd always thwart them, and there was always this kind of cliche thing that I always did where I would temporarily become evil. Like I'd be like possessed by some kind of spirit, and I would try to defeat Bradley's character, whoever he was, and he would always constantly change throughout each series, and like it was always like a new but similar series. Like it wasn't really like seasons or anything, or like an entirely new show. It was related. It was kind of similar to the previous one every year, but you know it would always kind of like change over time. Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of a short one because I don't really remember too much about it. I just remember that, oh man, it was a blast. I kind of wish to go back to those days where I was younger and more stupid. I mean, I am pretty stupid, but so yeah. I don't really know where to go from here, but if you always see that I'm kind of like always looking off to the side a little bit, and then kind of like my eyes adjust towards the middle of the screen, this is because I always like I have my my phone turned to me, and I'm often like swapping between looking at my reflection on the camera and then staring right into the camera, so that I'm basically looking at you guys. So yeah, I'm always trying to like improve my videos and whatnot. Ugh. Like a burp coming. I don't really know where to go from here. I'm like looking at my reflection and when I'm doing this and I look like really ugly and kind of creepy. So I'm gonna stop that. Is there really anything to talk about? I don't know, like we would always like have some tension parts. Like we always tried to make it, you know, pretty good. Like we would actually, like, if I remember correctly, we would actually have ourselves get into sticky situations all the time, but we'd always overcome them. Like I remember one time we had him captured, and We were captured. Oh, there goes my computer again. And yeah, I'm kind of flipping through tabs while I try to talk. So yeah, I honestly don't know where to go from here. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of call it the quits now and just say it. So yeah, he wanted me to talk about this. Like I might try to talk about this again. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of scratching something. Not scratching. Ew, I just spit. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of shut up now and get to uploading this because I'm obviously recording this as I speak, but you're watching this after it's been uploaded. This is in the past now, so even though for me right now it feels like the present. It's a really weird thing to think about. So yeah, that's basically it. He wanted me to talk about the games we played back in elementary. And yeah, they were a lot of fun. We were always trying to thwart the enemy. I even actually had Evil Mikey join us sometimes. Like, I often also did a thing where I had clones around and whatnot. And I remember, like, in the most recent one we did, I actually made it so where I actually couldn't survive if Evil Mikey wasn't paired with me. Because basically we had another threat, I think. We were trying to finish off Bradley's character, but also at one point I'm kind of possessed and I'm actually able to sustain myself without him, because basically he's become a clone, because that's what he was. Evil Mikey, his story was he was a failed experiment. Oh, this is smart. I don't want to have that on here. Whoops. Anyways, so yeah, he was always, crap, what was that? Oh yeah. He was a clone too. His origins was he came from a cloning machine I built in kind of his lore. His universe, and he was the first and only clone that came out of that machine. And he went out and tried to terrorize the world. The blame was put on me, but everything was resolved when they found out it wasn't actually me, and I was actually fighting to destroy him. But yeah, so like he actually it eventually swaps. I become the bad guy, and even when he's the good guy. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of leave it off here. This is luckily shorter, so this is gonna upload 100 times faster than the dream video, because that was like literally just a few seconds short of being 30 minutes long. So I'm just gonna kind of say goodbye.